My name is Nicole N, and this is my informative speech. A girl by the name of Jana was studied in Slovenia. A fake job interview set up by her roommate resulted in her abduction by 3 large Slovenian men. After being beaten and sexually assaulted repeatedly for days, she was given a few pairs of revealing clothes and forced to work out on the streets. Not only was she threatened, but her captors threatened the life of her family members. When she failed to comply to every demand, she was continually raped and beaten to the point of near death. Jana's story reminds people how their lives can be turned upside down. She was just an ordinary girl going to college. Jana was just in the wrong place at the wrong time. What most people, including me, forget to remind ourselves is that it can happen to anyone. Today I want to inform you about human trafficking around the world and help you understand what makes a victim of human trafficking. Google Dictionary defines human trafficking as an illegal movement of people, typically for the purpose of forced labor and commercial sex exploitation. Human trafficking is the second largest crime in the world. For every 30 seconds that go by, another person is forced into some type of human trafficking. Every year, a total of $150 billion are collected from trafficking of humans. It is said on an average of 4.5 million humans are being forced into human trafficking annually. There are many different kinds of human trafficking. The most common types are labor, sex, organ, child, forced marriage, and debt bondage. Sexual exploitation makes up almost half of the human slave trade. Researchers in the United States took a sampling of human trafficking cases between the years 1998 and 2003. They found that 46% of the 131 sample cases dealt with sexual labor. Females are the main gender, but males are also included. Because human trafficking is the second largest crime, it can be found almost anywhere you look. Not a single country is left out of human trafficking. Some countries have a large number of trafficking, while others are more spread out. China, India, and Pakistan are said to have the most slavery, but in other countries, like Haiti, it is more widespread. A 2013 report from the Global Slavery Index says that in maritime, there are over 160,000 of them that are involved in human trafficking. In Pakistan, there are about 2 million enslaved people. Certain parts of Africa are known for selling humans into marriages. In the crime of human trafficking, kids are the easiest target. Most people get forced into modern slave trade at a very young age. A high percent of those in human trafficking are from ages 18 to 24. The U.S. Department of Justice reported that about 6 million kids are being trafficked all over the world. About 10% of those 6 million children in trafficking are doing hazardous work for long hours with little or no pay. Some children are sold by their very own parents, and in some countries it is actually very common to see parents sell their children. The debt of a family may cause them to have to sell their own children to be able to pay their own expenses. Young girls are sometimes sold by their parents because in poor countries a young girl is seen as a liability. In these countries, a girl's family has to provide a dowry, which most families can't afford to pay. In Nigeria, children continue to be born in what is called a baby farm. In these baby farms, 11 to 17-year-old girls are repeatedly raped. If the girls become pregnant, they are sold into sex trafficking or given up for adoption. Even though human trafficking is common, many people miss the signs that signify people are in trouble and need help. There are many different signs to look for to be able to tell if someone is trafficked. Adults who are being trafficked may be scared, hurt, or not even allowed to leave their home without supervision of their employee. Sometimes the girl's Pam will go to the doctor appointments with them to make sure that she won't tell anybody what is happening. A simple sign that is the most common is the victim might not know their address. The reason why they might not know their address is because they are moved to a different place so often that they just can't remember all the certain addresses. Children give off different signs than adults because some don't even know any different. They might have no friends of their own, or they might not be enrolled in any education programs. Children may also have bruises, which is a sign of abuse. Trying to prevent and stop human trafficking is a big challenge. People are more aware of the problems and are trying to help those in human trafficking. By the year 2008, 118 countries were already working together to protect those forced into human trafficking. There are many organizations whose goals are to put an end to slave trade. One of the biggest organizations is called Stop the Traffic, which is a global non-governmental movement. It is in 50 countries with over 1 million followers. This organization tells, warns, and gives campaigns about the prevention of human trafficking. Some countries don't even have laws against human trafficking. There are 38 countries that have laws against it. 22 countries are still working on passing laws. There are laws in about half of the states in the U.S. where it is required to have a sign hanging up that has a National Human Trafficking Resource Center hotline on it in certain areas. Awareness of trafficking is brought up in TV, the radio, posters, billboards, flyers at airports, and many other places. Human trafficking is a worldwide problem. People young and old are affected by this crime every day. Although younger people are more vulnerable to human trafficking, everyone is at risk. Knowing the signs of those who are in human trafficking may be a way for you to help the victim who is seeking a way out but can't verbally say they need help. People are starting to realize that human trafficking is a growing problem and needs to be stopped. There are millions of stories just like John's. She was very lucky to escape human trafficking. She keeps on telling her story so that others realize how big of an issue human trafficking actually is.